Los Angeles Lakers, 3 under-the-radar free agents to consider. The Los Angeles Lakers had a lot of roster spots to fill after the Russell Westbrook trade. So despite the team signing the most new players in free agency this offseason, the Lakers still have 3 more roster spots left to fill with 12 players currently on the roster. I broke down my personal best-case scenario for the final 3 roster spots in a prior article here on Lake Show Live. However, the best-case scenario rarely happens and there is a good chance that the Lakers surprise us this offseason. One of the more surprising moves the Lakers could make would be signing Isaiah Thomas. Albeit that would be surprising because there are better guard options for the Lakers to explore in free agency. Or it could be surprising if the Lakers sign an under-the-radar free agent that ends up being more impactful than expected. There are 3 under-the-radar free agents that potentially fit on the Los Angeles Lakers. Remember, the Los Angeles Lakers are filling out the back of the roster. The chances that they land a true, significant difference maker is slim, unless they follow my best-case scenario. While they might not be getting a lot out of these signings, each player would bring a very specific skill set to the team that would undoubtedly help them in some capacity next season. 1. Garrison Matthews. Garrison Matthews may not be as under the radar as the other players on this list, but he is certainly far from being a household name. Dan Favale of Bleacher Report ranks him as the 5th best remaining free agent on the market, but I would not be surprised if most fans reading this either haven't heard of him or have heard very little about him. There is nothing wrong with that either. I mean, come on, it is the Washington Wizards. Unless you are an overall NBA nut, I don't think many Laker fans were watching many Wizards games last season. The appeal with Matthews is his shooting stroke. He has done so in a small capacity, but he has been a very solid shooter in his short NBA career. He has essentially played a full season, playing a combined 82 games the last 2 seasons, and has shot 38.9% from beyond the arc on 3 attempts per game. That is really all he has done thus far in his NBA career, and that is fine. He is an off-ball 2 guard who is a catch-and-shoot target to dish the ball out to. There is nothing wrong with the Lakers adding more depth in that regard. One of the biggest concerns around the Lakers roster this season is the age of the team, and this would help even out the roster a bit. Matthews is only 24 years old, and if the Lakers play their cards right, this could be a multi-season partnership with the former Lipscomb Bison. 2. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. Garrison Matthews would bring shooting to the Los Angeles Lakers. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson would bring defense. Hollis-Jefferson would not bring any sort of shooting, as he has been a well below average shooter throughout his NBA career. That is likely the main reason why he is still available on the market. Hollis-Jefferson is a solid defensive player who has really good advanced numbers on the defensive end, but he is a 0 offensively. It would not be the first time that the Lakers wove in a player who did not do much offensively but was great defensively. That was the entire start of Alex Caruso's career with the Lakers, and over time he got better and more reliable on the offensive end. Hollis-Jefferson would not play nearly the role that Alex Caruso did, but he would give the Lakers some defensive wing depth that they can utilize in certain situations. Hollis-Jefferson is only 6'6", but he has a long wingspan of 7'2", which he utilizes to close out on shooters and intercept passing lanes. Hollis-Jefferson has been well positive in defensive box plus/minus for his entire career. He posted a 2.2 DBPM in his rookie season and has a career mark of 0.9. That may not sound great, but it puts him 48th in the NBA among players with at least 6,000 minutes played since his NBA debut. 228 players qualify, putting him in the 79th percentile. 3. Langston Galloway. There is a reality in which Garrison Matthews goes for more than the league minimum, taking him out of the picture for the Los Angeles Lakers. Because of the age of the team, if the Lakers want to find a younger shooter, they could go after someone such as Langston Galloway instead of someone such as J.J. Redick. Galloway is not super young by any means, turning 30 in December. However, he is theoretically still in his athletic prime and certainly is not as old nor experienced as Redick. Galloway absolutely is someone who the Lakers could snag for the league minimum, and like Matthews, he would simply add another shooting option to the bench. He would not be asked to do much, but he is a microwave player that could get hot and swing a game. If that happens in the playoffs just once, then the signing is worth it. Galloway shot a staggering 42.4% from 3 last season but only took 2.1 threes per game across 40 games. It may have been a small sample size, but he also has the previous year in which he shot 39.9% from beyond the arc in 5 attempts per game. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.